Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let's chant Japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, text 12 and 13. Arunita, Aditi Lata Mataji, you want to go first?
Yes. Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Just opening the verse. Anyone else? Yeah. Whoever needs to go first, please raise your hand. And again in the middle, it will not be entertained. Okay, so if you come early, if you need to go, please raise your hand, because I think I have to be fair to the others also who are waiting in line. Okay, so let me the default view. Okay, yes, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Viru Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devashir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Arunita.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adi Daivam Ajam Vibham
Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum.
Adi Daivam Ajam Vibham
Not Daivam, Devam.
Devam Ajam Vibham Ahastam Anya Ahastam Nishya Save Devarshi Aradhate Asitu Devalo Vyasa
Swayam Chaiva Bravishime.
Translation. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of God, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the
Okay.
great sages, such as Narada, Vasita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Thank you. Usha Mataji and Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahastvam Rishaya Sarve Deva Rishir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravisime. Translation. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, and the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Medha.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Sarve Deva Rishi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Svayam Cheva Pravishime. Translation. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Yes, very good. Thank you. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, all glories.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradastata Ashito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Pravishne. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Ashita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Lokesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Parabrahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Vishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravisi Me. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest." All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Acham Vibhum Agustvam Rashayas Sarve Devarashir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime Bravisime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest." All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirms this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Lokesh.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Aswan Rashaya Sarve Devarshi Naradasta Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bhavishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are eternal, transcendental, the original person, the unborn, and the greatest." All the sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll go in order now. Achit Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj, humbly impressed to class of Navadvits.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaho Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation Translation. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of God, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest." All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achinta Dev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Param Brahma Param Dhama
Param Brahma Param Dhama
Pavitram Paramam Bhavan
Pavitram Paramam Bhavam
Purusham Shashvatam Divyam
Purusham Sasvatam Divyam
Adidevam Ajam Vibhum
Adi Devam Ajam Bhivum.
Ahustvam rishayah sarve
Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve.
devarshir naradastatha
Devarshir Nartastatha.
asito devalo vyasah
Asito Devalo Vyasaha.
swayam chaiva bravishime.
Swayam Chaiva Vavisime. Translation. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Okay, Isha.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshir Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Jaiva Bravishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Krishna, Ashish, and Madhava are here. Rasapriya is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arjuna Vasa Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Sasakam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Risaya Sarve Devarsi Naradasthatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Seva Pravesime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Yes, thank you. So next is Prajna. Or Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vipum Ahustavyam Rushaya Sarve Devarshi Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Cheva Praveshini. Arjuna said, "We are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, and Vyasa confirms this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prajna. Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishya Sarve Devarsir Naradastata Ashito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bhavishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Ashita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vindhyavali Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
My humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum
Ahustvam.
Ahutvam Rishayas Sarve Devarshinardastha Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bhavishme. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, and original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Thank you.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Nilambari Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ayushtvam Ra Sorry Mataji. Ahushtam Rishayari Sharve Devarshi Narada Tatha Ashita Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation: Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal. You are the transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Ashita, Devala, Vyasa, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you now. And now you yourself are declaring it to me." Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Did anyone not recite yet? I think everyone has recited, so I'll also recite. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 12 and 13. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve Devarshir Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Someone joined just now. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji, can you recite the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve Devarashir Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation: Arjun said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Achit Priya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, can you please tell like how to memorize this? This is a big, very nice sloka, but to memorize, to remember.
The first day when we memorized, I explained, you just know the meanings of the words, Mataji. Param Brahma, then Param Dhamma. What does Param Brahma mean? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is the Parabrahma. Brahma is Brahman, and then Parabrahma means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahma. Param Dhama means house. Dhama means abode. So Param Dhama. So you see the translation. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said, Param Brahma, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Dhama, the ultimate abode. Then Pavitram Paramam, the purest. Pavitram means pure. Paramam, Pavitram Paramam means again supremely pure, the purest. Bhavan means you. Then Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. Purusham means you are the personality, person, right? This original person here, that is Purusham. Purusham is Shashwatam, eternal, Divyam, transcendental, Adi Devam means the original person, Ajam means unborn, Vibhum means the greatest. So this is how you memorize the first one. The second one is, first line means Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve. All these rishis are telling this about you. Which rishis? Devarshi Narada, Tatha also Asito, Devalo, Vyasa. Asita, Devala and Vyasa. All these rishis are saying this about you. What? This Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. About you, all this, who are saying? These rishis are saying, Ahustvam Rishah Sarve, Devarshi Naradas-tatha, Asito Devalo Vyasa, they are telling. And Swayam Chaiva Bravishime, Swayam, you yourself, now you yourself are also telling it to me. That's how to memorize. So if you know the meanings, then you'll remember.
Thanks, Mataji. Thank you very much. You made it easier, no? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let us now read Srimad Bhagavatam. I think everyone has recited the verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 6. One second. So the title of this chapter is about Saubhari Muni. So we didn't get there yet in our reading. We have been reading about so we read about Rathitara and his descendants. That part was finished. What else did we read yesterday? I think we didn't read much. We read one purport. You don't allow me to go forward because there's so many questions and discussions. We spend a lot of time on each verse, which is okay. So yes, so we started reading about Ikshvaku. Yes. So while reading about the descendants of Ambarish Maharaj, we came up to the descendants of Rathitara. Rathitara is the grandson of Ambarish Maharaj. And then the descendants coming from Rathitara are called the descendants coming from Angira Muni or also from Rathitara. Okay, that part is over. Now we are reading about Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku is one of the first. Vaivasvata Manu had 10 sons. So we read about the other 9 sons. Now we are reading about the first one, Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku was born. How was Ikshvaku born? From the nostrils of Manu when he sneezed. So that is a detail. Initially it was said that Vaivasvata Manu gave birth to 10 sons in the womb of his wife Shraddha. But that was a general explanation. If you want the specific details, they are being given here. Ikshvaku came directly from Vaivasvata Manu. When he sneezed from his nostrils, Ikshvaku Maharaj appeared. And then, what else did we read yesterday? Now this Ikshvaku Maharaj had 100 sons, you remember? And the prominent ones are Vikukshi, then who else? Nimi and Dandaka. Vikukshi here. The prominent sons of Ikshvaku are Vikukshi, Nimi and Dandaka. Also we read of these 100 sons, 25 sons ruled the western part of Aryavarta, which is between the Himalayas and Vindhya mountains. That means between Gujarat and Himalayas. That 25 sons ruled. Other 25 sons ruled the eastern side of Aryavarta. Then another 25 sons ruled in the middle of Aryavarta. And then the remaining 25 sons ruled other parts, different parts, like that. Now we'll read the next verse. And I think Medha is supposed to begin today. Mataji read yesterday. Sa ekadashtaka shraddhe ikshvakuhu sutam adishat mamsam. This also we read. Yes, sorry. So we also read this part. So this Ikshvaku Maharaj was performing Shraddha, offering oblations to the forefathers. So this is done to deliver the forefathers. They do it every year. So Ikshvaku Maharaj was doing this sacrifice, yagya, offering oblations to the forefathers. And who was performing this? Vashishta Muni was performing this for Ikshvaku Maharaj. So Ikshvaku sent his son Vikukshi to the forest to get pure flesh. Vikukshi went and started hunting animals. So in that context we read, hunting is allowed only for the Kshatriyas according to the Vedic injunctions. Shudras may also eat meat, but they may not hunt. They can offer, according to, again, everything is according to Vedic injunctions. They can offer a lower animal like a goat to not a cow or horse. That is not possible. But they can offer a goat to goddess Kali and they can eat meat. But hunting and eating is allowed only for Kshatriyas. So with that background, Vikukshi went to the forest. He hunted animals to bring their flesh to be offered to the forefathers in the sacrifice. But while hunting, he became tired and hungry. So from the animals that he hunted, he ate one rabbit and then he came back and he offered that flesh to Vashishta Muni to be offered in the sacrifice. Vashishta Muni could understand that Vikukshi has eaten from this offering before it could be offered. Therefore, this offering is contaminated. It is unofferable. So that's where we stopped. And then also in that purport, if you remember, we discussed how Srila Prabhupada said in our temples, we follow it very strictly, right? Anything which is to be offered to the Lord, nothing should be taken before it is offered to the Lord from the kitchen. When you prepare, it shouldn't be eaten by anyone, taken by anyone. And if something like that happens, if anyone takes anything from there, then that offering is polluted, it cannot be offered. And if you still offer it, then it is an offense to the deity. So the whole purpose is of serving is now baffled, because you want to please the Lord and now you're offending the Lord, like that. Okay. So we had a lengthy discussion on that yesterday. We won't go into that discussion today. Let's continue. So the next verse. So we read this part, finished. Also, in that context, Srila Prabhupada said, taking advantage of this particular context, Srila Prabhupada takes the liberty to explain about eating meat. Other lower animals may be eaten and even offered in sacrifice, but never cows. Nobody, neither Kshatriya nor Shudra, nobody can actually eat cows. That's not forbidden. I mean, that is forbidden. So what is being done today, it's completely sinful. It's not acceptable. Of course, in the past ages, there was something called Gavalambam. That means there's just like horse sacrifice, there was cow sacrifice also. And but that is not allowed now in Kali Yuga. That's also said. Ashwamedam Gavalambam Sanyasam Palapaitrikam Devarena Sutotpatti. What's the next one? Kali Vivarjayet. Anyway. Okay, we'll just quickly go over that. 7. Kalau pancha vivarjayat. Kalau pancha vivarjayat. In Kali Yuga, these 5 things are forbidden. And what is the source? Brahma Vaivarta Purana. This shloka is from Brahma Vaivarta Purana. It was quoted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Chand Kazi. Ashwamedam Gavalambam Sanyasam Palapaitrikam Devarena Sutotpatti Kalau Panchama Vivarjayat. Pancha. Kalau Pancha Vivarjayat. These 5 are forbidden in Kali Yuga. Now the next verse. Meda Sesham Nivedayamasa Pitre Tena Cha Tadguruhu Choditaha Prokshanayaha Dushtam Etad Akarmakam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Medha had to leave early today because she has a field trip. Can I read the Mataji?
You read no yesterday, Mataji?
I can't remember Mataji because the last thing you said was
No,
Usha
you read.
Mataji can read it.
Yes,
I read it? Okay.
you read, and then Medha was supposed to read, but she had left.
Okay, Mataji, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, so next, Nilambari Radha Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Translation?
Yes.
Vikukshi offered the remnants of the flesh to King Ikshvaku, who gave it to Vashishta. Sorry, can it be little bigger, Mataji?
Actually, Mataji, I read this yesterday. So we'll go to the next verse. Sorry. You'll read the next one, Mataji. So we read that which is meant to be offered. Yeah, that we read already. So the next one. Gyatva putrasya tatkarma guruna bhihitam nripaha deshan nissarayamasa sutam tyakta vidhim rusha. Yes, Mataji. You want me to make it bigger?
Yeah, I made it. Yeah, it's okay now. When King Ikshvaku, thus informed by Vashishta, understood that what his son Vikukshi had done, he was extremely angry. Thus, he ordered Vikukshi to leave the country because Vikukshi had violated the regulative principles. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So I won't go into the details, but we discussed this point recently, how it is important that the Kshatriya ruler be very strict in what is the word? Enforcing the regulative principles from the scriptures. Because if they don't enforce it, you'll get every reason. I mean, you can make so many excuses for not following it. Oh, because of this I couldn't follow, because of that I couldn't follow. Remember that example of some I think some Muslim country, Dubai or somewhere, the rule was anyone who steals his right arm will be cut off. That was the rule. But then you never saw any person without a right arm. That means out of fear of that law, nobody would ever steal like that. So Ikshvaku Maharaj, when he found out from Vashishta Muni that Vikukshi had polluted the offering. Of course, it was not done intentionally, we read. Out of forgetfulness he ate, but nevertheless, fire is fire, especially when it comes to karma. Karma is very strict. Even unknowingly you do something, you will get the consequence. Bhakti is not like that. In Bhakti, Bhavagrahi Janardana, right? If you say Vishnave Namaha, Vishnaya Namaha, Krishna will accept your bhava. He won't say why you spelled it wrong, therefore now you won't get the result. No. In Bhakti, Krishna is Bhavagrahi. But in karma, slight mistake in pronouncing the syllables, you get the opposite result. You saw in the case of Avritrasur, right? His father, Twashta, was performing a yagya because his son Vishwarup was killed by Indra. He became angry that Vishwarup was actually helping the demigods, and King Indra killed him. So Twashta became very angry and he performed a yagya to create a person that will kill Indra, to create like a demon who could come and kill Indra. But when he was reciting the mantras, there was a slight discrepancy in the meter. You know, when you make a certain sound, it's not about, short A and long A. Not like that. It's also about where you take that sound out from. This comes in Sanskrit when you study Sanskrit. You're making that sound from upper, throat, or lower, or in the middle. Based on that, it means different. That is why everyone is not allowed to study Sanskrit. You have to be a Dvija in order to study, because you are trained like that, and only they can, because of their uh, proper training and their credentials, they are able to. Otherwise, they will make a mistake, and when you make a mistake, you get the opposite results. Like in the case of Vritrasur, the mistake was, instead of making the sound from, now I forget, I had studied at one point what it is called. It's something like Udgata, and the second one was something, and Swarita, like that. So there are three different positions from where you make a sound. So instead of making from the upper, he made the sound from the middle, and the result was just the opposite. He wanted someone who could kill Indra, but the meaning changed to someone who will be killed by Indra. So he got a demon who's going to be killed by Indra, whereas he wanted a demon who is going to kill Indra. This is the law of karma, very, very stringent. Right? Slight discrepancy, you get the opposite result, or in some cases you don't get any result. But bhakti is not like that. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya, even a little bit you do. What to speak of bhakti? Bhakti abhasa, even abhasa bhakti one does. Right? You chant, hey, look at these Hare Krishnas, people will make fun of them, but just by uttering the word Hare Krishna, they are also getting the result of doing bhakti without any intention. That's the beauty of bhakti. So anyway, karma is very strict. So yagya means karma. Any type of yagya, when you do, it is karma. Except, of course, Sankirtan yagya. Sankirtan yagya is the only yagya which is recommended for this age, because all other yagyas, we don't have the qualification to perform those yagyas. There will be discrepancies. There are no qualified brahmanas to utter the mantras properly. We don't have that type of wealth to perform such yagyas purely with sandalwood and ghee, right? Pure ingredients we don't have. How we can get success in yagya? Therefore, even when we do yagya, you will notice always yagya is accompanied by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because that is our real yagya. The other yagya that we do is for those who want it, right? So that they can also come to uh, devotional service. Srila Prabhupada said that in Vrindavan, right? When in the installation of Krishna Balaram, elaborate yagyas they were doing. Srila Prabhupada said, our main yagya is Sankirtan yagya. But because there are so many, pandas and brahmins here, they will think, they won't take us seriously if we don't do the way you're supposed to do it with all the procedures and rituals, right? They won't accept it. So for their sake, we will do it. But our uh, our faith is in Harinam. So therefore he said constantly chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra should go on even when yagyas are performed. So anyway, here this King Ikshvaku, when he heard that Vikukshi ate, and now that offering is polluted, and now that's being offered. So such a big yagya he's doing, it's all spoiled. And how could he even do that? He should have been very attentive and careful. So the punishment is, you leave the country. He's banished. he would be the king, the next king, and the father said, "You're banished for violating the regulative principles. The offering which was to be offered in Yajna, you ate from that, you violated the regulative principle, therefore you leave the country immediately." Strict. Text 10. Satu viprena samvadam gyapakena samacharan tyaktva kalevaram yogi satena vapayat param. So, who read just now? I forgot.
Nilambari Mataji.
Nilambari Mataji read. Thank you. So now Shravanti Mataji, Suvarnangi Mataji, and Narsimhalila Chaitanya Prabhu, Suhrit Spurti.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Namaskar.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Translation by Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Srila Prabhupada. Having been instructed by the great and learned Brahmana Vasishtha, who discoursed about the absolute truth, Maharaja Ikshvaku became the renounced. By following the principles for a yogi, he certainly achieved the supreme perfection after giving up his material body.
Hare Krishna. So, we are talking about Ikshvaku Maharaj, not about Vikukshi. Okay, this verse. Having been instructed by the great and learned Brahmana Vasishtha, who discoursed about the absolute truth, Maharaj Ikshvaku became renounced. So we see Kshatriyas, all the Kshatriyas that we read about in Srimad Bhagavatam, at a certain point they take Vanaprastha, right? And then so that is they're renouncing their kingdom. They renounce their kingdom, family, and then they take to fully focusing on spiritual life. So, having been instructed by the great and learned Brahmana Vasishtha, who discoursed about the absolute truth, Maharaj Ikshvaku became renounced. By following the principles for a yogi, so after renouncing, what do? You have seen in the case of many kings that we read about, right? Let's take Bharat Maharaj, right? Or even Dhritarashtra Maharaj, right? What do? Like a yogi, right? They take 3 times bath in the river, and then they follow, the process of yoga. So by following the principles for a yogi, he certainly achieved the supreme perfection after giving up his material body. So that is the whole plan in the Vedas. The plan for human life is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now, first of all, why did we come here to this material world? Or why are we in this material world? We are in this material world because we want sense gratification. Kama. We have material desires. So, in order to fulfill those material desires, also you have to follow the guidance from the Vedas, Vedic injunctions. Just like we are seeing meat eating. According to the rules given in the Vedas, you can eat. Not you, but depending on which person, right? Like Kshatriyas or Shudras, like that. So, sense gratification. But you have to follow. That's why dharma, follow dharma. By following dharma, what happens? You'll get artha. By following dharma, you'll get artha. Artha does not mean only money. Artha, money is one. But artha means you get so many opulences by following dharma. Right? You get powers, you get fame, you get beauty, you get birth in an aristocratic family, many different opulences you get as a result of following dharma. So by following dharma, you'll get artha. And that artha, with that artha, those who are materialistic people, they use that artha for sense gratification. But still, if they are doing it according to the Vedic injunctions, at least they won't go to hell. They won't go to hell because they're following dharma. slowly they will be making progress. Dharma, artha, kama. You have desires, fulfill them by following dharma, and then you get artha, and then with that you fulfill your desires. But it doesn't mean until the end of your life you will simply be enjoying and fulfilling your desires. No. There's a certain time, right, when you are supposed to stop, give up family life, give up sense gratification completely, absolutely, and then you take to Vanaprastha, right? Especially for higher classes, from Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas, they must give up. Brahmana should even take sannyas. So this is the system. This is the Vedic system of lifestyle. This is for everyone. First of all, the society is divided into Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra based on guna, based on their nature and karma. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And then there are duties. This is how they should live their life. And if they live their lives according to the injunctions given in the Vedas, then they will make progress. Of course, there's another one called the Bhagavad Marga. Bhagavata Marga means like what is being given to us, right? You chant Hare Krishna, you take to bhakti, right? Of course, you should come to the standard of. So first, there are two stages in that. First one is aspiring to be a bhakta, and the second one is one who is actually a bhakta. Bhakta means pure devotee. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyana. So those who are still aspiring, they are following the Bhagavat Marga. They are aspiring to follow the Bhagavat Marga. So therefore they are chanting Hare Krishna. They are observing Ekadasi and hearing, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, following rules, regulations. But still they are not yet on the stage of pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service means Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. You don't have any faith in karma anymore. I must do this. This is my duty. I am a Brahmana. I am a Kshatriya. I am a software engineer. I am a lawyer. I am Miss India. I am this. I am that. Right? I am the president. No. As long as we have that, even a tinge of that thought, I am this, I am mother, I am daughter, right? Whatever things we have, that means we are still not on the level, right? Because full faith that my only identity is I'm a servant of Krishna, servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. That is pure devotional service. So in order to come to that, what should we do then? It's not going to happen overnight. It's not like switch on and off, right? Oh, now I understood that's where I should be, so I'll turn on the switch and now I'm a pure devotee. It doesn't happen like that. Now there's a gap. From here we want to get there. So yes, we should follow the system. That's why Guru is very essential, right? He gives us the system. Chant 16 rounds, at least 16 rounds. Take a vow. Not when I feel like I chant 16, sometimes 8, sometimes 4, sometimes 0. Not like that. You take a vow. That means you're making a commitment. That's when you start making progress, right? You surrender to the spiritual master. That means whatever instructions he gives, you do it seriously, right? You commit yourself to that. Follow the 4 regulative principles strictly, like that. And so following this side by side, because you don't have 100% faith, as described before, if you don't have that faith, then you have to do karma. Because if you don't do karma, if you don't have faith and you're saying that now I'm Bhagavat Marga, I'm doing devotional service only, but you still don't have that faith, what will you do? Then you will become a pretender, right? Oh, I'm a pure devotee. You'll fool yourself and fool others thinking that I'm a pure devotee, but I'm still maintaining all types of desires in my heart and secretly I'm trying to enjoy those things. That doesn't help. So you should do your karma side by side with the idea that eventually I want to get there. That is my goal. Karma means what? Your duties. What are your duties? Duties as a mother, duties as a wife, duty as a husband, as a father, as children. We have duties as a teacher, as an administrator, as a producer, as a worker, like that. We have different duties. But those duties should be done according to the Vedic injunctions, not whatever is created by the fertile brain of materialistic people, which is what the society is today. The result is we are destroying the material nature, right? By our inventions, by our research, in the name of advancement, technological advancement, we are moving far, far away from our root, from Krishna consciousness. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, simplify your lifestyle, simplify. Don't depend too much on this modern way of life. Don't become dependent on that. As far as possible, simplify your lifestyle and follow as much as possible. Try to follow the system of life given by the Vedic injunctions. Certain things you may not have control on at present, but wherever you have control, follow that, right? Our eating habits at home, whatever we eat, we have control on that. And so at least within the house, that much we have, right, to start with. And then gradually, when we make that gesture, then opportunities will open up by the mercy of the Lord, where we can actually come more and more closer to the lifestyle which is conducive to Krishna consciousness. So, 1 second, Mataji, I'll just take your question. Let me go back to see why I was discussing this. Having been instructed. Yes, so renouncing, yes. So, getting perfection. So, I was telling you that this is the plan of this is the whole plan for human life as it is given in the Vedas. That ultimately dharma, artha, kama, okay, enjoy, but ultimately you should be liberated from this entanglement of, birth and death. Not that you keep coming back again and again for enjoyment. Enjoyment is not denied because we want it so much. It's not denied, but within rules and regulations for a certain period of time, and then you have to give up. So Ikshvaku Maharaj heard from Vashishta Muni very nicely, and then at a certain stage he gave up his family, his kingdom. He practiced yoga, focusing on the absolute truth, and he was able to get liberated. He was able to perfect his human form of life. Just on that note, last night, one of Prabhupada's disciples, I think you got it also, you got this message. I received that message today. When we go to Gita Nagari Rath Yatra, you must have seen Mother Kamagiri. She is a Prabhupada disciple, and her daughter, Krishangi Sakhi. She was 42 years old, a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Mataji, her mother, Kamagiri Mataji, she's a very dear devotee. Very, very, she rendered so much service. She's a great cook. She would always serve in the temple and also take care of the children of the devotees. Like she would raise them like others' children, right? She would take and she would raise them in Krishna consciousness. Her daughter, she left her body last night at 6 p.m. and she had cancer, 42 years old. But she was being instructed and advised by Guru Maharaj, and she followed the instructions. She was in the association of the devotees, and in good consciousness she left her body. So this is the success of our human form of life. If at the time of death, because whatever else that we do in this life, right, whatever achievements that we may get, the fact is, the reality is, we have to leave. And at the time of leaving, what is our consciousness? That's what will determine our next destination. So our consciousness at the time of giving up our body depends on our consciousness throughout our life. At every moment, actually. At every moment. What is it that I'm aspiring for? What are the thoughts that are going on in my mind? Right? So all these thoughts come together, like accumulate, And the most prominent thoughts that you have had throughout your life, that's going to be the thoughts at the time of death. So, of course, fortunate, but we shouldn't just say, oh, she's just fortunate. Fortunate because certainly, you have made that effort and then you get mercy like that. So, okay. So I'll take Shravanti Mataji, or is it Spurti? You raised your hand? Question?
Okay. But how do you know if you're a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmana?
Very good question. Very good question. How do you know if you're a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmana? So, actually, that can be decided by the Guru. The Guru can decide what you are. Therefore, and Prahlad Maharaj says, training begins from the very young age. It's not like you have to grow up and then you'll go to Guru. No. Kaumaram Acharit, right? At a very young age. Therefore, there is, in the Vedic system, there is a Gurukula. Gurukula. So the boys are sent to Gurukula. And in Gurukula, the teacher first does not die. It's not like the schools now, right? When you go to school, they see how old you are and then they put you in second grade, third grade, fourth grade according to your age, or maybe they test you and see what is your level of knowledge, intelligence, and then they put you in that grade. But in Gurukula, the teacher actually first observes. He will give general duties to all the new students. And by seeing how each student is performing those general duties, the teacher will understand. Different students will do it differently according to their nature. He will identify, oh, this is a Brahmana, oh, this is a Kshatriya. And once he identifies, then he will give training accordingly. Someone who is identified as a Kshatriya, he will not train him as a Brahmana. He will train him as a Kshatriya. Someone who is identified as a Shudra, he will not be trained as a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya, like that. So how do we know who I am? We can know when the Guru identifies. Therefore, training is essential. The Guru will recognize and he will train. It's a whole system. It's a whole system. It's not like all of a sudden now I will find out who I am. Of course, you can get some general, you can get some idea from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells us what are the duties and what is the consciousness, what is the nature of a Brahmana, right? So, Kshatriya also, Vaishyas and Shudras. For Vaishyas and Shudras, generally their mentality is not stressed so much. Just what work they do is said, right? Vaishyas do cow protection, Krishi, Go Raksha, Vanijam. That's all is said. And Shudras, they do service. That is Shudras. But for Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, qualities are also mentioned, right? Kshatriyas, they have Ishvara Bhava and they are courageous. They are very charitable, like that. And Brahmanas, of course, simple and pure, truthful, religious, austere. All these qualities are for Brahmanas. So if you see in someone these qualities, you can understand, oh, maybe this person has Brahminical qualities. Someone else has Kshatriyas. But that is just generally to understand. To actually determine, is this a Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya? We should have a proper system and proper training also. So for that, we will need Daiva Varnashram communities where it's like a village where, when there's a village, you need, if you need potters, you need farmers, you need, those who are preparing cloth, you need doctors, you need a school, right? So many things are needed. It's not just Now, as soon as we say, okay, I'm a Brahmana and I'm living here in Philadelphia or in Evans, so then what do I do as a Brahmana in this city? That's the next question. So there has to be a society where each of these members can function, they can earn their livelihood, right? So that has to be done. So that should be started with you, the younger generation, because training will start at a young age. And then when we have a society, when you grow up, by the time you grow up, they have done it. In Indonesia, His Holiness Bhaktiraghav Maharaj has actually, this is not now, this was done several years ago. So he preached to some students, college students, girls and boys, about like this Bhagavad Gita and Shastra and simple living and high thinking, Varnashram, Daiva Varnashram Dharma, and they were all convinced. And then they got married. The boys and girls students, college students, they got married. And they all lived together in a village completely self-sufficient, not depending on the outside society. Growing their own food, preparing their own cloth, everything, completely self-sufficient. And now that society, that village is still there. And now those devotees have grown up and their children are like 20 years old. And the society is nicely flourishing still. So like this, each and every village all over the earth should become like that. That is the vision of the Acharya, right? Then there will be peace and prosperity. So that was a elaborate answer to your simple question, Spurti.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji, there is a community here named Amish.
Yes.
So they also follow that way. They have their own community. Everything is there. They don't even go outside, for school.
Yes.
They have their own schools, hospitals, everything.
Yes.
So
That's the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Okay. So we have some more time. Let's read. Who read just now? Sorry. Neelamari Mataji read. Then. Yeah.
Simachamalila Chaitanya Prabhu.
I read
That's
Mataji.
you read. So the boy, okay, Suhrit Spurti will read. Pitaryuparatebhyatya vikukshih prithivimimam shasad ije harim yagyai shashada iti vishrutaha.
Translation. After his father's disappearance, Vikukshi returned to his country and thus became the king, ruling the planet Earth and performing various sacrifices to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vikukshi later became celebrated as Shashada.
Yeah. So, the father, Ikshvaku Maharaj, sent away Vikukshi to the forest. Then we read how Ikshvaku Maharaj got liberation. He left home, he left the kingdom, and left the kingdom means he took Vanprastha, and then he attained liberation. So after Ikshvaku Maharaj was gone, Vikukshi returned to the kingdom, and he actually became the king, and he is celebrated as Shashada. Next, Spurti. Actually, wait, one more. He did various sacrifices. Yeah, he returned to the country, became the king, ruling the planet Earth and performing various sacrifices to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, so he did many, many sacrifices to satisfy the Supreme Lord, yagyas. Puranjayastasya sutta Indravaha iti ritaha kakutstha iti chapyuktaha shrinu namani karmabhi. Spurti. Hare Krishna.
Son of Shashada was Puranjana.
Puranjaya.
Puranjaya, who is also known as
Vaha.
Indravaha and sometimes as
Kakusta.
Please hear from me how he received different names for the different activities. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this Shashada, who's Shashada? Vikukshi, the son of Ikshvaku. So his son was Puranjaya. Puranjaya had different names. Okay? Vikukshi's son had different names. He was called Puranjaya, Indravaha, Kakutstha. How he got these different names? By his different activities. What were those activities? That's the question. Mataji, Suvarnangi Mataji. Kritanta asit samaro devanam sahadanavaihi parshnigraho vrito viro devair daitya parajitaihi.
Formerly, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam also.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Formerly, there was a devastating war between the demigods and the demons. The demigods, having been defeated, accepted Puranjaya as their assistant and then conquered the demons. Therefore, this hero is known as Puranjaya, he who conquered the residence of the demons.
Thank you, Mataji. So Puranjaya, one name is Puranjaya. Why his name is Puranjaya? Because he fought on behalf of the demigods. Although he's an earthly king, like Dasharath Maharaj was also invited. Who else? Muchukunda, right? King Muchukunda also fought on behalf of the demigods. One more king. Who was that? Arjun. Yes, Arjun also fought. Who is that? He had 1 minute left. The demigod said he had just 1 moment left, and he said, "Send me to the earth."
What was that?
Katwanga.
Yeah, Katwanga Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you. Katwanga. Like that. So there are kings so chivalrous, so powerful that the demigods also would invite them to fight for them against the enemies of the demigods. So like this son of Vikukshi called Puranjaya. Why he is called Puranjaya? Once upon a time, there was a devastating war between the demigods and demons, and the demigods were defeated. So they accepted this Puranjaya as an assistant to fight with the demons because they were already defeated in order to conquer the demons. And with Puranjaya on their side, the demigods were able to conquer the demons. So, being a great hero who was able to defeat the demons, he got the name Puranjaya, one who conquered the residence of the demons. Pura means city, like Puri, right? You say Jagannath Puri, like that. Pura. Pura means city, the residence. So, Puranjaya, he conquered the residence of the demons. Therefore, he is called Puranjaya. So, we will stop Srimad Bhagavatam reading here, and tomorrow we will begin with after N. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji will begin reading tomorrow. Okay? I think, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow Priyanka Haripriya Mataji will begin reading. Let's read Bhagavad Gita. We are reading from the introduction. Yesterday we read just the prayers at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll start reading now. So like Leelamrita, we'll read a little bit of Bhagavad Gita every day, especially the introduction. And after that, once we get into the first chapter, we'll do 1 verse a day. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is the essence, Gita, Bhagavad Gita, right? Gita means the words spoken by the Supreme Lord. Upanishad means Vedas. Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge. and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. Already so many translations are there, commentaries are there on Bhagavad Gita. Why you are writing another one? One may question. This present edition can be explained in the following way. What is the need for this present edition? Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative, right? So many editions of Bhagavad Gita are there in English. Srila Prabhupada is saying, as far as he has seen, none of those editions could be called strictly authoritative, because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions, right? I think it's like this. I think he's giving his own ideas on the verses of Krishna. So almost in every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. That is why Srila Prabhupada could not recommend to this American lady any one particular edition of Bhagavad Gita. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. Now, the next question is, so these books don't have the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. What is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? It is said in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the directions written on the label. The same medicine bottle will have how you should take that medicine, isn't it? We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction of a friend. Oh, this is my best friend. I will do whatever my friend says. And the friend says you should take 5 pills a day. Whereas on the medicine bottle, it says you should take 2 pills. Can we do that? Can we just listen to our friend or follow our own? No. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the directions on the label or the directions given by a physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself. Who is that? Krishna. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Sri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes refers to any powerful person or any powerful demigod, and certainly here Bhagavan designates Lord Krishna as a great personality. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as is stated by all great acharyas or spiritual masters like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. Like this verse that we memorized, Arjun is saying, right? Ahustvam rishaya sarve devarshir naradas tatha asito devalo vyasaha swayameva swayam chaiva bravishine. Like that. So authorities have to accept it. So who are the authorities? All the Vaishnava Sampradayas. Shankaracharya is Advaita Sampradaya, of course, that is not Vaishnava Sampradaya, but the major Vaishnava Sampradayas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's Brahma Sampradaya. All of them have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only them, but many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India have also accepted Krishna. The Lord himself also establishes himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita. And he is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita and all the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. Etecham sakala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srimad Bhagavatam is also saying, it's known as the Bhagavad Purana, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the personality of Godhead himself. I will stop there and continue from here tomorrow. Actually, from here. But the point that we read today is in this, if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, you cannot just read the Sanskrit verses from without any commentary. I'll just take and then I'll read. It is still Bhagavad Gita. No. For you to understand what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, you have to hear from a devotee of Krishna. Only then you will get the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. And what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? That is also said in Bhagavad Gita. This is the beauty of Shastra. When we say Shastra Pramana, who will tell you that Shastra is the authority? Right? Shastra tells you who is God. Shastra tells you everything that you are supposed to do. But how do we know that this Shastra is authoritative? Who will tell us about Shastra? That also Shastra will only tell. That's why it is the authority. It does not need any certification from anyone else, not from Krishna, not from Acharya. No, they'll also say, but Shastra proves itself. Shastra only tells, makes that statement. So, like Bhagavad Gita also, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, how do you know what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? It is said in Bhagavad Gita only. And Prabhupada is giving this example of prescription, right? When you take a medicine, you have to follow the directions given on the medicine or given by the doctor. So Krishna is the doctor, right? And the prescription is Bhagavad Gita. So you take it from Bhagavad Gita, directly you take the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, you get from Bhagavad Gita, provided you hear Bhagavad Gita coming in disciplic succession from a pure devotee. Because a pure devotee will not adulterate it. He will give Krishna's message like a postman. Whatever Krishna wants to say, he'll pass on the same thing. He will not give his own ideas. He will not concoct it. But if you hear from others, it's concocted. So that's about Bhagavad Gita today, for today. We'll read more tomorrow. Now let's read a little bit of Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada is now on his way to Butler, or has he reached Butler already? Well, we have to begin. We just read it's a new chapter, so we'll start from here, okay? The bus came. Srila Prabhupada is in New York with all, waiting. So the bus came swinging out of the terminal into the daylight of midtown Manhattan, riding along in the shadows of skyscrapers, through asphalt streets, crowded with people, trucks, and automobiles, and into the heavy traffic bound toward the Lincoln Tunnel. All of you are familiar with the Lincoln Tunnel. When you go to New York Rath Yatra, you go through that. So Srila Prabhupada is coming in a bus through that Lincoln Tunnel. The bus entered the tunnel and emerged on the Jersey side of the Hudson River, continuing down the New Jersey Turnpike, past fields of huge oil tanks and sprawling refineries. The Manhattan skyline was on the left, and while 3 lanes of traffic sped 60 miles an hour in each direction, Newark Airport came up close by on the right, and jets visible on the ground. Electric power lines spanning aloft between steel towers stretched into the horizon. Srila Prabhupada had never before witnessed anything of such magnitude. He was now seeing for himself that American culture was based on passion for more and more sense gratification, and it was a scene of madness. For what important business were people rushing to and fro at breakneck speed? He could see their goals advertised on the billboards. One more paragraph. Of course, he had many times traveled the road from Delhi to Vrindavan, but it did not have many advertisements. A traveler would see mostly the land, roadside streams, temples, homes, farmers in their fields. Most people went on foot or traveled by ox cart or bicycle. And in Vrindavan, even the ordinary passers-by greeted each other by calling the names of God, Jai Radhe, Hare Krishna. Now, there were factories outside Delhi, but nothing like this. The cumulative effect did not pack nearly the materialistic punch of these fields of oil tanks, mammoth factories, and billboards alongside the crowded superhighway. Meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling, the very sins Srila Prabhupada had come to preach against, were proudly glamorized on mile after mile of billboards. The signs promoted liquor and cigarettes. Roadside restaurants offered slaughtered cows in the form of steaks and hamburgers. And no matter what the product, it was usually advertised by a lusty looking woman. But Prabhupada had come to teach the opposite, that happiness is not found in the passion for sense gratification, and that only when one becomes detached from the mode of passion, which leads to sinful acts, can one become eligible for the eternal happiness of Krishna consciousness. So, while Srila Prabhupada is traveling in the bus from New York to Butler, and as he's seeing what someone else might just be amazed and attracted to, wow, America. Srila Prabhupada is coming for the first time, and Srila Prabhupada is feeling sorry for all the people. And he could immediately, simply by seeing all the magnitude of the materialistic lifestyle, he could understand, to what extent people were chasing after sense gratification, and he was feeling sorry for them. So we will stop there. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all very much. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. And as you were reading the description, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever change has to take place is taking, but I was just, oh, it's the same.